Hey, everybody! Tonight, we're diving into the wild world of cognitive biases and how they can seriously mess with our financial decisions, especially when it comes to student loans. Now, cognitive biases are basically like mental shortcuts our brains use to process information quickly. Think of them as your brain's way of hitting the easy button. Sounds harmless, right? Well, not always. These mental shortcuts can lead us to make irrational decisions, especially when we're dealing with complex stuff like money. It's like trying to parallel park a U-Haul truck using only your rearview mirror. You might think you're making the right moves, but chances are you're headed for a disaster. One of the sneakiest cognitive biases out there is the availability heuristic. This bad boy tricks us into thinking that whatever's easiest to remember is also the most likely to happen. It's like judging the entire population of a country based on a handful of tourists you met at a bar. Not exactly a recipe for accurate judgments, is it? So, how does this play out with student loans? Well, buckle up, because things are about to get interesting. Let's talk about the availability heuristic. This sneaky bias can make us overestimate the risks associated with student loans. Think about it. When you hear the words student loan debt, what pops into your head? Chances are, it's not images of happy graduates strolling into their dream jobs. Nope. It's probably more like those horror stories you hear about people drowning in debt. Those stories are definitely out there, and they're often pretty dramatic and memorable. The problem is, they don't represent the whole picture. For every sob story, there are countless others about graduates who built successful careers. These success stories might not be as flashy, but they're just as important to consider. Student loans are a big deal. They can be a valuable tool for your future, but not to be taken lightly. Think of them like a chainsaw, powerful if used correctly, but disastrous if not. Understand interest rates, what you can afford to repay, and job prospects after graduation. Good financial education is key. Too many students are thrown into the deep end without proper guidance. Navigating financial aid, interest rates, and repayment plans can be overwhelming. This lack of knowledge leads to poor decisions and financial vulnerability. But what if we could help students make smarter choices? Teach them to spot and avoid cognitive biases. That's exactly what we're about to explore. A new experiment in financial education by Manuel Salas from the University of Granada, who decided to tackle this problem head-on. Manuel Salas wanted to see if educating students about cognitive biases could actually lead to better student loan decisions. He designed a study where he divided students into 3 groups: control group, financial education group, and financial education, plus debiasing group. The first experimental group received online financial education about student loans. You know, the usual stuff about interest rates, repayment plans, and budgeting. The second experimental group, the debiasing group, got all that, plus something extra, a crash course in cognitive biases, specifically the availability heuristic. They learned how our brains can trick us into making bad decisions based on easily recalled information. They were encouraged to make decisions based on reliable and verified sources of information and expert advice. Manuel Salas wanted to see if understanding these biases could help students make more informed choices about student loans. Would they be less likely to fall into the availability trap and overestimate the risks of borrowing? The results show that financial education alone did not significantly change behavior. Financial education plus debiasing significantly improved attitudes towards student loans, perceived social approval, financial self-efficacy, and borrowing intentions. The main conclusion of this study is that combining financial education with debiasing strategies can mitigate cognitive biases in student loan decision-making. Higher education institutions should incorporate awareness of psychological factors in financial education programs. Thanks for your time.